So we're commencing our final video in Birdwatch 2.0, which is Birdwatch Website 2.0 Add Hover Effects. So to make our websites more interactive, so a lot of websites have responsive hyperlinks and links to other pages. So when I, for example, I'm highlighting over home, paths, projects and clubs, we can see the color is slightly changing. This just indicates to the viewer that I'm hovering over them, which saves us navigate. It's a navigating assist tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our website more interactive. So the first thing we're going to do is for any image elements, we're going to add this into our CSS. So we're going to hover over it, copy, jump over to our CSS, find where image is, and you can see I've already added it in, but just for the sake of it, I'll highlight over this and click paste. Now, anything with an image tag will have this hover state, so we can actually see it right now. In effect, if I hover over an image, we can actually see the image has a border until it's hovered over, and then it doesn't have a border. So, the border, I believe, actually changes to a dash of navy. So what we'll do is we'll change that to something a little bit easier to see. We'll change that to orange. Now let's see it in effect. There we go. We can see it in full effect. So when I'm hovering over the image, it has a dash of orange, just so we can clearly see it, which is quite cool. Makes it a little bit more responsive. You can clearly see it there on that particular image. Moving down the page, we've actually created a class from that. So we're going to do the same with our links. We're going to create a hover state. So we're going to go to one of our links where we said click here. So we're going to find click here to read more about podcasting, which is just here on line 52. And we're going to basically create our own ID class and then go from there. So it says A class equals nylinks, and we put that just after the A open tag. So we'll paste that right there, and we'll just put a space. So yours should now look like mine, except your link will be different. So from here, we're now going to make it so when we hover over click here, it changes the color. So we'll jump back to our style sheet, and we'll add in this code here, because we've stated that this A class link is called nice links. So anything with the nice links in our HTML will have this animation. So we're going to go copy and paste just here, anywhere in our HTML code. And what that will do is when we hover over the click here, we can see that originally it is a shade of white as its default, and then when hovering over it, it becomes green. Now, of course, we can pick any hexadecimal code, but that looks much nicer. And it's responsive, which means the person viewing our website knows where our mouse is located, which is great. Now, from there, we're going to move down the page and we're going to find a CSS block for the picture of our anything, and the one we determined in the previous one. So this is landing pic. So we'll have a look at landing pic, which is just located just here. So, which is really good to see. We're going to make it so landing pic has a little bit of a larger width. So I'll make it 400, just so it's easier to see. There we go. Maybe a little bigger. 700 pixels. Excellent. So now it's much easier to see. And we're going to create a hover effect over this. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in this animation effect. So we'll drag over it. Don't need to take this top bit because that's stating the radius of the border and the width of the image. So we're going to highlight all of this, copy, and we're going to paste it just underneath our landing pic. Now, when I hover over it, we can see that there's one effect there. We'll see what else we can get up to here. So, if we move our cursor over the picture, we can see that state's changing. So I have to troubleshoot something here. So I'm going to have a quick look. That's because it's got the tag Owly. So what we need to do is change that to landing pick. So I'm going to type that out, landing pick. Now, when I roll over to it, it creates this cool rollover animation. Goes for a second and only does it once. Once again, if I make the iteration count infinite, it will infinitely roll over. Infinite. Doesn't stop rolling. I'm going to keep it at 1, and I'm going to make it go for 5 seconds, so it's a little bit slower. There we go. So these are how we can make some really cool hover effects. So let's make glowing rainbow links now. So what we're going to do is anything is for a rainbow glow animation. So what we'll do is we'll follow this. First, we'll add keyframes rainbow glow. From here, we can then, when this decides to load, and then we can actually add it into our nav bar, which is great. So if we ever want to create a rainbow glow effect over our nav UL, so let's do that now. So first we're going to go to the bottom of the page. We're going to create an event. And remember, you can have the Raspberry Pi tutorials there on one monitor, and you can have your Trinket on the other, just like what I've imitated right now. So we're going to do at keyframes rainbow glow R bracket, go down, and we're going to hit the tab button once. We're going to go 0%, open up that R bracket. Down, color, hashtag 00B 3Fs. Going to, just to speed up the process, we'll Control C, enter, paste that 4 times. I'm going to just change the hexadecimal values. So the one in the middle here is EEAFEE. Control C to Control V. EEEF. FF. F. I'm going to change these values here to 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%. Next stage is we're going to add 3 animation properties to its style rules as you've done it before. Always make sure your animation name matches the animation you wish to use. So we're now going to look for our nav ULLI tags, which are just located here. And we're actually going to type one of those out. So the quickest way to do this is I'm just going to copy this first little bit here, paste it, and then I'm going to add in the colon, so the pseudocode, and put in colon, hover, and then after that, I'm going to type in animation name, rainbow glow, which was the thing we just did, animation duration, colon, 1.5 seconds, and obviously animation iteration count. Colon, infinite. Making sure I've spelled everything right, and obviously closing that rule with an R bracket. And then if I want to, as you can see, it in full effect. If I hover over all of my buttons in my nav bar now, they all have that rainbow effect. Very similar to nice links. If I scroll down the page and find nice link hover, I can actually add in all of the same rules. So if I add those in, so Control C or copy, go down here and add in paste, hitting enter once. When I hover over my links, they will also have that rainbow effect. So that's how we add in a hover effect over the buttons and links in our website using the cascading style sheets, IDs, selectors, and even a little bit of pseudocode. So this brings us to the end of Birdwatch 2. From here, what you want to do is use all of the skills you amassed in Birdwatch 1 and Birdwatch 2 and continue to flesh out your websites with all of the information necessary. Leave no stone unturned.